What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Jose Show. Happy Thursday. All right, now let's get to the hot topics. Now, let's talk about Tom Brady. So, Tom Brady is coming to Florida's aid after Hurricane Milton slammed the Gulf Coast by donating $100,000 to the victims who desperately need essentials in the wake of the devastating storm. So, the seven-time Super Bowl champ who played 3 seasons in Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl announced his contribution on Thursday, a day after Milton made landfall in the Sunshine State. So he got to say this: in the wake of Hurricane Milton, I'll be making a donation of $100K to help get essentials like food, water, and first aid to fellow Floridians in need, Brady said. The future Hall of Famer revealed that GoPuff, a goods and food delivery company, will match his donation and benefits will go to the Volunteer Florida Foundation. Okay, so anyways, after spending 20 seasons in New England, Brady made Florida his second home. When he signed with the Buccaneers in 2020, he won his seventh Super Bowl with the Bucs that same season. Okay, so this is really cool that Tom Brady is thinking about Florida, because I believe that Florida really needs help, especially from the richest people out there, like Tom Brady, for example, because let's remember that Florida, unfortunately, is going through a huge disaster right now with Hurricane Milton, because Hurricane Milton is bringing in an ocean of water to a lot of the cities in Florida, including Tampa. It is so ugly and it is so freaking scary. And a lot of people, unfortunately, are doomed because they have no electricity over there. They need water. They need a bunch of other stuff over there. And it's a whole entire disaster. I believe that this hurricane, by the way, is one of the most disastrous hurricanes in the history of the histories, by the way. I think that with all of the help that Tom Brady is going to give towards the Floridians, I'm pretty sure that the Floridians are going to get, a lot of help, of course. But, of course, unfortunately, there's still going to be a lot of things that need to be done over in Florida yet again. I mean, I can imagine that, of course, the water isn't going to disappear anytime soon, because, unfortunately, the hurricane is still going to happen for the next God knows how long. Because, unfortunately, hurricanes, they don't have schedules. They will just struck like, nobody's business. Now, I think, though, that once this hurricane ends soon, hopefully, then a lot of people are going to be able to, have the chance to fix their houses, bring in food to their homes, and then get their electricity back. And, of course, make a really good use of all of the money that Tom Brady is donating to Florida. So, anyways, I think that it really takes a very heartful person like Tom Brady, for example, to really go into a situation like this, because my goodness, like I said, it is just a huge destruction what's going on in Florida right now, and my hearts and prayers go out to all of the Floridians out there that are suffering through all of this. My hearts and prayers. But anyways, on to the next topic. Now, let's talk about Lupita Nyong'o. So Lupita Nyong'o is taking some time away from the dating scene, confirming she and Joshua Jackson aren't together anymore and saying she's focused on another little guy in her life. So the actress sat down for an interview with Harper's Bazaar UK, published Tuesday, in which she confirms she's no longer involved with Jackson after less than a year together. So, when talking about her rescue cat Yo-Yo, Lupita said her love for him is singular, explaining that if she's ever so lucky to be in a romantic relationship again, it'll be all thanks to Yo-Yo. So that verifies a rumor that kicked up in the middle of summer after Josh was spotted with model Nastasia Roberts. So Joshua and Lupita started dating around this time last year, later walking around together hand in hand to announce their new relationship to the world. So Joshua's ex-wife, Jodie Turner-Smith, gave the couple her blessing back in June, wishing them luck, but it seems the relationship fell apart pretty soon after, and now the two are moving on. After all her recent dating troubles, Lupita adds she's going to try to keep her next relationship out of the spotlight, but for now it's just her and Yo-Yo. Okay, so this is really suspicious. I believe that this guy that dated the one and only Lupita Nyong'o, Joshua Jackson, is nothing but a pig. Because I believe since the relationship didn't last at all, I believe that it was all because of the fact that Joshua Jackson ended up cheating on Lupita Nyong'o. Because let's be honest, a lot of the times when a relationship doesn't get to last all that long, it's because your couple is cheating on you. Now, I'm not saying that it's all the time, and I'm not confirming that Joshua Jackson got to cheat on Lupita Nyong'o. However, I am saying that there are high possibilities that could be the case, especially because Joshua Jackson already has a couple right after Lupita Nyong'o broke up with him, or he broke up with Lupita Nyong'o. Come on now. And usually when you break up with somebody, it takes some time for you to find somebody else because you're barely processing the breakup with the other person, and that's it. But you know what? If I were Lupita Nyong'o, I would just focus on that cat of hers, and I would just focus on life, because at the end of the day, life is much more important, especially her life is much more important than having to focus on men, because I believe that as long as she focuses on herself, the more she is actually going to have a healthy lifestyle, the more that she is going to be happy. And if she's going to be focusing on getting more men in her life, then chances are she's going to go through the same situation again like she did with Joshua Jackson. And I'm saying if Joshua Jackson actually cheated on Lupita Nyong'o, I'm not confirming anything again, okay? So anyways, Lupita, please girl, you are very smart and you are very talented anyways. So you will definitely have a man in your life again sooner or later. And if you're not going to have a man and you're going to be happy on your own, then that's even better. But anywho, on to the next topic. Now, let's talk about Donald Trump. Okay, so Donald Trump is getting trolled by the film he fought tooth and nail to prevent from being released, and marketers for the flick are rubbing it in his face at one of his rallies. So Trump held an event Wednesday in Reading, Pennsylvania, and midway through, the people behind The Apprentice pulled a publicity stunt that likely pissed him off. Okay, so anywho, this is really, really weird what I'm hearing here. I think that the reason to why people are going after Donald Trump for this is because I believe that people really think that it's funny that Donald Trump really is trying his best to not be seen in this movie, but unfortunately he's being seen in this movie after all. And what's even more funny, by the way, is that he loves to rant like a freaking child. He loves to complain like a freaking child whenever he doesn't get things that he wants. And I believe that this is one of the situations here, since he is now being seen in this movie. And what's even more funny, by the way, is that when he complains, he really complains like for a good 20 minutes. It's so freaking annoying at the same time, man. I don't even know how those people in those freaking rallies are even able to tolerate that crazy lunatic, okay? Like, by already watching him for like a good 2 seconds, I can't stand him. I'll just change the freaking channel and I'll just watch something else. I think I would much rather watch a cat meowing in my bedroom than watching him complain and talk a bunch of stupid stuff in his own freaking rallies. Like, come on now. And no shade to the cats, by the way. Cats are amazing, okay? But anywho, I also think here that this man, the only thing that he's trying to do nowadays by complaining and by ranting and this and that is he's just trying to call a bunch of people's attention, because he is basically the nominee for the election that is coming up really soon, and he wants to be the winner, he wants to be the favorite, he wants to be the one that's loved. And unfortunately for him, he's not that loved and he's not that favorited, because the man is just an awful man. You can disagree with me if you want, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so anyways, with all of that being said, man, I believe that we as people, we really need to focus on the better things that people have to say. And by people, I mean politicians have to say when it comes to politics, instead of focusing on a man that is just so concerned about himself and so concerned about stupid stuff in his lifestyle, and not really focused on the important things that America needs for the American people. Like, come on now, that's just me, you know, that's what I believe. But anywho, on to the next topic. Now let's talk about Anderson Cooper. So Hurricane Milton has been pummeling Florida's central west coast, and the killer storm even will up CNN's most recognizable face, Anderson Cooper. So, Anderson, who usually anchors his show Anderson Cooper 360 from a cozy New York studio, hit the ground near Siesta Keys, Florida to report on the dangerous Category 3 hurricane, but he got roughed up Wednesday night. So, in the video, Anderson was doing a live shot from a waterlogged pier and dealing with high winds and torrential rain when flying debris smacked him square in the head. So the veteran newsman was jarred and stumbled backwards, saying, "Whoa, that wasn't good. We'll probably go inside shortly." So, as you know, Anderson is no stranger to covering natural disasters or going into war zones. He spent a large chunk of his journalism career covering these stories. But his fan base still expressed concern on social media as he struggled to deliver his report from Florida. Several supporters encouraged him to go inside a safe place before he's washed away by the hurricane. All right, so anyways, this is really funny and kind of weird at the same time that Anderson Cooper kind of got washed up and winded away by the hurricane, because it's kind of reminding me of an episode of Tom and Jerry and an episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, I guess you can say, because it's just so comedic just having to hear that a reporter is outside reporting a hurricane, and then all of a sudden the hurricane is going after the reporter, and then the reporter is like all, weirded out by the situation and all washed up by the situation. But at the same time, I do understand that it's something serious to talk about, because, at the same time, a hurricane is no freaking joke, because a hurricane is so freaking serious that has caused so many disasters and God knows what else. But yet again, like I said, man, it just sounds funny. Now, on to the seriousness. I believe that if I were Anderson Cooper, I would definitely be reporting the hurricane from inside a building. Because if he were to be reporting it from inside a building and he were to actually have a window behind him where the hurricane is going on, then a lot of us would still see the hurricane, but with the difference that he's not outside getting himself into danger, and also with the difference that we would also hear him better, by the way. Because, usually when you're inside a building, you're not, getting all caught up with the noise that's going on outside by the freaking hurricane. So I think that that would be a whole different thing right there. I think that that would be so much better, but I don't know what was going on with the freaking reporter, and I don't know what was going on with the freaking people behind the camera as to why they thought that it was a really good idea to be outside reporting the freaking hurricane, especially when the hurricane was already hitting Category 3. I mean, come on now. When a hurricane is hitting Category 3, ladies and gentlemen, that's already rough right there. And I mean, I think that's something that CNN or whatever network was working with him should have known. Okay, but anyways, that is it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's beautiful episode of the Jose Show. Till next time, and peace.